Hey guys, so today's video is about, well, it's another commentary type video about the beauty community, but while I'm doing this, I will actually be doing my makeup in the process. So basically I just want to combine what does well on my channel, which is me discussing the beauty community, along with still doing my makeup, showing you guys makeup, showing you guys new makeup, etc, etc. So while I'm doing all of that, I'm not going to put the product like up on the screen like, hey, this is what I'm using, because I think that just breaks up the flow of the conversation. But everything will be in order in the description. Most of those will be affiliate links in some way, shape or form. So if that's okay with you guys, let's proceed. So subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment for engagement. And also I have a commentary channel, a podcast, and a book channel that will all be in the description along with everything else. So let's just get into it. So about Michelle Phan today, it's gonna be a long story and there's a lot going on. She like joined a cult at the end. So spoiler alert, let's get into like the start of her career along with the start of my makeup routine, which is primer. So Michelle Phan is a 35-year-old American beauty influencer, and she's actually the founder of Cosmetics, which is a well-known makeup brand now in the beauty kind of sphere. In the beauty atmosphere, it's well established, it's well loved, like all the products have like raving reviews. I feel like everyone loves Cosmetics, even if they don't know that like the founder of Cosmetics is Michelle Phan. Like I feel like people still just really love the makeup, which goes to show just like the quality of the makeup. I always like to, when I use like a sticky primer, I like to dry it before I apply the rest of my makeup. She was born in Boston, but is of Vietnamese origin. Her mother actually remarried, and so after that relationship ended, they actually ended up moving to Florida, and then that's kind of where she finished off the rest of her education in life. She actually ended up going to uni, but she dropped out due to financial reasons, and then in 2014 she got an honorary Doctorate of Arts degree, and that's in 2014. So she started a blog in 2005. I was 5 years old, bear in mind, 5 years old, she had a blog going for her, where she essentially discussed makeup techniques and like, it was just like a makeup blog. Kind of Zoella had a makeup blog. Oh, that's very white. The thing is, I kind of enjoy when my makeup comes out a little bit more white, because when I apply blush and bronzer, then it actually matches the rest of my skin. Whereas if I kind of match my foundation to the rest of my body and then I start doing blush and bronzer and the whole thing, it ends up actually looking darker. So then I feel like matching your foundation doesn't really make sense. So she had this blog, kind of the likes of like Zoella. I feel like so many of the like wave one YouTubers, which is what Michelle Phan was, spoiler alert, a lot of them started out doing blogs. Mainly if you were like a makeup YouTuber. I look ridiculous right now. A lot of them did a blog before they went into YouTube and like filming, because I feel like doing a blog and like writing things down is so much less intimidating than like sitting in front of a camera and filming and editing. I just feel like a lot of them started on the blog, and then people would leave comments like, hey, like, can you like show us how to do this? And to show it, they would have to get on camera. So she just started posting on, I believe it's supposed to be pronounced Xanga, which is a social media platform that ended in 2013. It was like shut down, basically just dissolved, like it didn't work out. I don't know how else. I just tried to say it so many different ways. I look ridiculous right now. So she was posting on that first under the username Rice Bunny, and then she moved to YouTube in 2007, which I was 7 years old. That was really just like the beginnings of YouTube. YouTube didn't even like make money yet. They didn't have ads. It was just like, you post on this website, have fun, which actually makes her the first wave of YouTubers. Like, I feel like there have been so many different waves that people talk about. That really just makes her like the first wave. I feel like in 2007, you're like at the beginnings of YouTube, right? Which is why her growth is kind of understandable. Like, she was one of the first makeup people to do it on YouTube, which is why it was so like revolutionary, right? I'm really liking the like lighter concealer in places again. I know it's like such a, like people are like, no, you don't need to use that much concealer. Like I feel like it became like a laughed at technique, but I still kind of like it. I think it just depends on what products you use and like how they mesh together. She posted a few videos, mainly the one that people recognize is the Lady Gaga one, which was actually reposted by BuzzFeed. Like BuzzFeed featured 2 of the how to get Lady Gaga eyes tutorials in 2009 and 2010, which is what blew those videos up and made them go viral, because at the time BuzzFeed was like a well-respected business. Now, not so much. Like I feel like now people find BuzzFeed quite cringy and like just not that fun. But back then, like those were the beginnings of BuzzFeed, and BuzzFeed was like this new thing that people were just really excited about. In 2010, Lancome made her their first official video makeup artist after she used some of their products in her videos, which just goes to show like she was like the originator of like working with makeup brands just purely from being a YouTuber. It was crazy. This actually made her their first American Vietnamese spokesperson, which is insane that she's literally a YouTuber. In 2012, she actually co-founded My Glam, which was a monthly product subscription service. So you essentially pay a monthly fee and then you receive a box of goodies, just like a mixed bag of stuff, and you know, have fun. And that was actually launched in 2012 and has since been renamed to Ipsy, which is something that you might actually know. And a lot of people get very surprised when they find out that Ipsy, this massive like subscription service, was actually founded by a YouTuber. Like, people don't really know this. It's not like a well-known fact. If you were there kind of at the inception of Ipsy, you know this, but many people don't. And Ipsy's still around. Ipsy still sells stuff. Like, it's still a monthly subscription service, but people just don't know that it was co-founded by Michelle Phan. Also in 2012, she became a YouTube advertising partner, which, if you guys don't know what that is, it essentially just means that she was joined into the AdSense program. And that was literally at the beginning of the AdSense program. Like, literally as it started, she was joined into it. That's like a big deal. Like, to be there at the inception of YouTube finally making money is just such a weird... Like, the fact that she was like making videos until 2012 without making money from AdSense. Like, she was probably making money from brand deals and probably like affiliate links or whatever was kind of around before then. I'm assuming she was making money somehow to sustain herself. But the fact that she was there like literally at the beginning of the partner program is crazy, because now like millions of people are part of the partner program. She also launched Fawn, which was a YouTube MCN. I don't know if you guys remember the hype of YouTube MCNs. Now not many people join, well, not many, but they're not as well loved, because now people understand that like you don't need an MCN to deal with copyright, deal with monetization, deal with brand deals. Like, there are a lot of things you can do on your own. I've never been a part of an MCN, purely because I think I was like one of the last waves recently of YouTubers. Like, I feel like there hasn't been another wave since me. I'm like the last wave. I feel like there hasn't been like a wave after like the boom of commentary channels. I feel like we're waiting for the next wave. And I had come kind of after everyone else's like trial and error. And so many people were like, MCNs literally made me go bankrupt. Like, they didn't pay me out my money, because you're basically trusting someone to be in charge of your AdSense and then pay it out to you every month after taking their cut. And that is why there was that big situation with a big MCN going bust and then not paying many of its partners, because they just didn't have the money. They spent it all after taking their cut and they just failed to pay everyone else. But she started her MCN. I'm sure it was fine. But that was like at the start of MCNs being a thing and MCNs being kind of like a craze on YouTube. Everyone wanted to join an MCN. But also MCNs were making a lot of money taking big cuts off paychecks, because they had kind of like a monopoly, because they were the ones that were like in direct contact with Google, and it was so much more difficult back then to deal with YouTube like technical problems. So being part of an MCN really helped. Now I feel like not so much. Like, I feel like now you can do a lot of things on your own. In 2013, L'Oreal actually launched a new cosmetics line called M Cosmetics by Michelle Phan. But in 2015, she bought back her shares through Ipsy. So Ipsy almost took over all of M Cosmetics, if that makes sense. Like, they bought the rest of the shares and then Ipsy essentially owned M Cosmetics. And then she actually talked about that in 2016 on Instagram, and she talked about how she just wanted to rebrand essentially. I don't think the original launch of M Cosmetics had very good reception. Like, apparently the products just weren't that good. Like, the quality wasn't all there. You can tell that it was L'Oreal just being like, this is what you're gonna sell, and that's it. And I feel like she kind of saw that and she didn't want to tarnish her reputation. So she bought back her shares through Ipsy. So her brand Ipsy, that she co-owned essentially, was now the owner of M Cosmetics, and she was able to make all creative decisions and change M Cosmetics into what it is today, which is a very popular makeup brand and very like well respected. So going back a little bit, now we're in like 2016, 2015, but let's go back a little bit. In 2014, she partnered with Endemol Beyond USA, I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced, to build a talent network for content made for millennials, essentially. So it was like that was like before Gen Z were like on the internet. So it was called Icon Network, and it was dedicated to beauty, lifestyle, and entertainment, which launched in 2015 online and on TV through, it's called Roku, which is just like basically a TV box. In 2014, she also partnered with Cutting Edge Group to launch Shift Music Group. Also in 2014 was a busy time for Michelle Phan, by the way. Also in 2014, she published a book with Random House called Makeup, Your Life Guide to Beauty, Style, and Success, online and off, which you can tell, like, because she was part of the first wave, she almost had a monopoly on YouTube. She was like, I am beauty. on the internet. Like, I am beauty. So anyone that wanted to include a beauty YouTuber had to go to Michelle Phan. Like, she was the epitome of doing beauty on the internet. So she had the book, she had the MCNs, she was just doing a lot of business deals. It's because she was actually one of the first YouTubers, right? So in 2015, she was named on the Forbes 30 under 30 list, which is like, people like Kylie Jenner go on that list. Like, I think recently, actually, to be fair, Forbes named Charlie on one of those lists, or Dixie. So it has opened up to YouTubers, but I feel like she was literally one of the first like online creators to be acknowledged in such a mainstream way, which is really interesting to see. And then that same year, she actually raised $100 million to value the company Ipsy at over 500 million. In 2018, she founded the startup Thematic, which was a licensing music company, and I'm going to tell you why she did that in a minute. I forgot to mention this. I literally just went back saying I knew that I forgot it. After she acquired M Cosmetics through Ipsy, she actually later on after that resigned from Ipsy to focus on M Cosmetics. So it was around the 2015-2016 time she essentially resigned from Ipsy and said, I want to focus on M Cosmetics, you guys have fun. But she still managed to like raise so much money for M Cosmetics, was crazy. Now, awards. In 2014, she was nominated for a Teen Choice Web Star in Fashion and Beauty, and also a Teen Choice Female, just as a female creator. In 2014, she won a Streamy for Inspiration Icon and a Shorty for Best YouTube Guru. In 2015, she was nominated for the same thing, Teen Choice in Beauty and also Teen Choice in Female. And then 2016, she was nominated again for Teen Choice for Beauty and Fashion. So clearly, like, she was so well respected in the community, just like flying through different nominations, awards, businesses, you know, all sorts of different things. I think at this point, if she had retired, she would have been completely fine. Like, I just think she was making so much money just through all her like business deals, and she was probably on the Google Preferred program, which means she had the highest CPM, the best ads. She probably had a bunch of brand deals. She was probably like the first one to start properly doing affiliate links. Like, I think she was like the inception of what we know the beauty community to be like now. She was like the originator. She's been on and off YouTube kind of throughout the years, and I'll talk about that now. So she stopped posting in 2016, and then she posted Why I Left in 2017 to explain that she was essentially burnt out with YouTube, and she was just focusing on her businesses, you know, with like the acquiring of cosmetics from Ipsy and then leaving Ipsy and then like doing all these businesses. She was just very burnt out, and she just wanted to focus on like the business side of things for now. So she actually, after she posted the video Why I Left, she actually left for another 3 years, and then she came back with a video called Hello with a smiley face, and then she started posting somewhat regularly since then. Now, her career didn't come without scandals. They're not like the typical scandals that YouTubers go through now. They were kind of like just being more naive about kind of the way business works on YouTube, and just because she was one of the first YouTubers, it was kind of like free reign, just everything was happening all at once. Her previous scandals were the fact that she co-founded Ipsy and then resigned. Like, some people were just really upset about her abandoning the like Ipsy community. She started M Cosmetics with L'Oreal and people didn't like it. So like I said, she bought her shares back and reinvented it. Like, the fact that it got such bad reviews was obviously a bit of a scandal back in the day, because people expected great things from M Cosmetics. And I think it was a great idea for her to have bought the shares back and like completely reinvented it, because I think without that, like, she would have been lost. Once she left YouTube and then started posting again after her like Why I Left video and after the Hello video, she actually got into like Bitcoin and NFTs, and like it was like the start of her making really weird content, and people were just kind of upset about it for obvious reasons. Like, it just seemed very like whatever was popular and making money, like she was on it. So whether it was essential oils, or, which is another one I'll get into, essential oils, or was it NFTs or Bitcoin, she was kind of there to shill it, and people just basically started thinking that she was a bit of a shill, and like that kind of ruined the opinion that they had on her. Ultra Records filed a lawsuit, and then she countersued for copyright infringement for music, which is, I'm assuming, why she actually ended up starting her own like music licensing company, because it was like something that she clearly went through, and then she saw other YouTubers going through it, and it was a great business model. So COVID started, and she recommended essential oils to beat COVID, and actually Dr. Pimple Popper called her out on Twitter, and Michelle Phan responded and was basically like, thanks, but like my nurse friend essentially agrees with me, so like I'm gonna keep on using essential oils. And that's like the first time people were like, is she just like shilling really, like, and also it wasn't even just the essential oils, it was the fact that it was like an MLM selling essential oils, so it was like double shilling. Like I said, then it was the Bitcoin and NFTs and like tweets and brand deals around it. I'm using some new makeup products today, so I'm hoping my makeup comes out okay. Like, I need to try this new, I literally just opened the PR box today. Sigma released a soft focus setting powder, and I just kept Vanilla Bean, and then I put the other shades into what I have like the pile of like PR that I want to put in a giveaway at some point. I think for 150k I'm gonna do a giveaway. So you can subscribe and stick around, and then once I hit 150k I'll do a video where I basically tell you guys how to enter, but you need to be subscribed and do all of that stuff. So if you want to subscribe, then at 150k I just have like a box of makeup to send out. I can't open this. I'm hoping this one is nice. It's called Soft Focus. I'm assuming it's got some kind of blurring effect. I'm not going to be reading out too many screenshots purely because it's supposed to be like a more chatty video, and I'm going to be putting them up on the screen. So if you want to read anything in like full detail, please be my guest and like pause and do whatever you need to do. This was about a month ago. She posted these weird, ominous Instagram stories about how she was at this like meditation retreat. Through like words and the power of the mind, she treated a man that was paralyzed, and then he started dancing and singing from joy, essentially was the vibe, which to me sounds not correct. Like, I just don't think that's how things work. I think if you're paralyzed, maybe medicine can help, like the medicine community, aka like doctors and stuff. But even then, it's very difficult, obviously. I just don't think like singing and meditating is what's gonna get us through the day, you know? Like, yes, mindset plays a huge role in your like recovery process. I think the more positive you are, the less stressed you are, the less strain you put on your system. That can help, but like, I hate that these like meditation retreats and like religious retreats typically will prey on like disabilities, or I'm trying to be very gentle here with the way I discuss this, because I know a lot of people believe in like different ways of medicine, but I think there are just some things that I don't agree with, like preying on people who are disabled and telling them that like the way to not be disabled anymore is meditation. And I just think that just isn't correct, right? It just isn't correct. I really like this powder so far, by the way. Like, when they said soft focus, they mean soft focus. I hope you can see how that looks. That is very soft focus. And it just feels so soft, and it's so finely milled, and it's just beautiful, by the way. This sent me 2 brushes with it, which look so stunning. One of them is the All Over Powder F24, and then another one's the Setting Powder F12. I love Sigma brushes. They're like majority of my face brushes are now Sigma brushes, which I just think is, they're just so good. So far I've been using the Huda Beauty setting powder, and it's one of the best I've ever used. This one's in Sugar Cookie, and it's so good for like baking and all sorts of things like that. But this one is very good. Very, very good. After she posted this, people were understandably very worried. Like, people were like, oh my god, she's being like just manipulated and mind like controlled into believing that meditation is the cure for everything. And like, meditation helps 100% with, it helps with anxiety, it helps with mindset just towards life. But if you have like awful anxiety, then you might just need to be put on medication, and that is something that could be a neurological issue, like your neurons or your genetics or just anything. Your anxiety could just be like a biological thing, and then meditation is just not going to help. Everyone was just so worried for her, just being like, she's being manipulated into like shilling this meditation program, which is actually made by this like really famous meditation guru, and he does these like $1,000 retreats that everyone goes to for multiple days, and they just sit there and they meditate for apparently like 5 hours at a time without getting up for the toilet or to eat or to like do anything. They just sit there and they like meditate for hours for about like a week, and they all come back and they all tell everyone else how like this, they like saw a man get cured, and everyone else that is struggling with something will pay thousands of dollars for this retreat that is not going to cure them, most likely. So everyone was understandably worried, like expressing opinions about this. She then does a Q&A about just like where she has been, like an update on life, in which she talks about her meditation journey, how it changed her life, and she meditates for like an hour every day now, which is completely like fine if that's what you want to do. If you want to meditate for an hour every day, like be my guest. That is not like the issue that people had, really. So she's like starting with something very like Like, you can't argue this, right? So she's staying soft. She's like, yeah, I've just been like meditating for like an hour a day. And like, that's fine. No one's saying that's wrong. She's like, I don't crave meat anymore. I'm pescatarian, which another, like, it's completely fine to be vegetarian. I've been vegetarian for about 4 years now. Haven't had any meat since then, unless it was by accident. I think I had some by accident once because I ordered a veggie noodle and I was given some with like meat shreds in it, which not my fault completely, and I still count myself as vegetarian. I'm not gonna argue about it. So yeah, I've been vegetarian for all this time. I don't crave meat anymore. That's completely fine. It makes me feel healthy and it makes me feel good. But then once again, like, to each their own. So she said she went to Dr. Joe Dispenza's event/retreat. It was beautiful and spiritual, which LA lacks. She feels like because she was in LA all this time, she hasn't had that like spiritual side. She finally got it through going to this retreat, which another thing is, I think people in LA are so easy to prey upon because LA is such a hectic, chaotic place for influencers. I feel like if you're just in LA to like do a different job, you're probably fine. But I think if you're an influencer in LA, like, you're gonna be preyed upon because you're living a very chaotic life. You probably want to settle down and like enjoy life. And I think these retreats are just like, hey, spend thousands of dollars and I will help you relax, which like you could just do at home. So she's like, you know, LA lacks spirituality and it's just chaotic. So I was just so happy to go to this retreat, and like a friend recommended it. She wasn't sure about it, but she was like, look, I'll just go on the website, I'll see what it's about. And she paid for it and she was like, if anything, I'll just sell it off to someone else. And then she saw that the retreat actually sold out within minutes, and she was just like, oh my god, like I have to go now because clearly this is like super good. I'm ashamed because I actually bought this ages ago and I didn't try it because I saw a Morphe store in like our local like shopping center. It's the continuous setting mist that all the influencers were shilling, and like, it's so good. It is so good because like it's just a continuous mist. I love it. I don't think it holds my makeup quite as well as the Charlotte Tilbury one, but the misty mist on this is super good. It's super good. It's continuous setting mist. It's amazing. So it's a 7-day meditation retreat and she paid and apparently sold out within minutes. So there was a man there, give me a minute, who had a spinal cord injury and they told him he wouldn't be able to walk. So he then went to this retreat and he decided to walk, and he did. Like, he just decided to start walking and he did. So she apparently said that she is spiritual and has been since she was a child. She loved going to churches when she was younger. And because her mum remarried to a white guy after her father, she felt like she lost some of that spirituality and some of her culture. And this was like a way for her to get it back. And like, I'm so glad that she was able to get back some of her like culture and spirituality. And like, I love that. But I think she was been so easily preyed upon because of all of that. Like, I feel like she's like the perfect candidate to be preyed upon by these cults because she was looking for that community and she was looking for that like outlet, and they offered all of that to her and she had the money to pay for it. So she's like the perfect candidate for it, which is so sad. My base looks so flawless. I can't eat. It looks so good, guys. Hold on. Look at that. Like, my base has never looked this good. She then gets asked about, obviously, like, are you in a cult? And she says that she posted about, you know, the retreat. Like, as she came back from it, she posted about it. She started getting a lot of hate because she was on this, like, spiritual high. She said she completely just didn't care about the fact that she was being cancelled. I don't think she was being cancelled. I think people were just understandably really worried about her. Mainly because of like the build up. I feel like she has been on like this weird journey. Everything that she could be preyed upon for, she has been. Like, NFTs came in and she was shilling them. MLMs came in and she was shilling them. And it just felt like she was like the perfect candidate to just like be in a cult. So she said she was on a spiritual high and she didn't care about the responses. And now she's here to just like address it now that she's come off like the spiritual high. She got actually really emotional about the fact that people like cared about her enough to talk about it and like be concerned for her, and that was something that she was very like appreciative of. But she says that she doesn't think she's in a cult, and she gives reasons for why she couldn't be in one because of her personality. She's an Aries, she's this and she's that, and she doesn't think that she could ever be in a cult. But like, I don't think there's a personality type for a cult. I just think it's about your circumstances. She felt she had distanced herself from her culture and her spirituality. She felt like she was in LA full of chaos and fake, and there's a fluff, surface level, and she needed to be grounded, and she felt like she wanted community and she wanted that feeling of spirituality, and she was like the perfect candidate for being in this kind of cult. So it's not about her personality, it's just about her circumstances, I think, in my opinion. And literally right after she says that, she says, if I was, it would be a cult of love and not like the hippie typical cult that people think I'm in. which like she's kind of going back on what she said. Like she's like, I don't think it's a cult, but like if it was, it'd be a cult of love. And like all cults seem like cults of love before they go bad, right? She talks about overcoming like trauma and childhood issues, which I'm so glad for. Like I'm so glad that she's like dealing with that, and well, not dealing with that, but like dealing with it. And she doesn't want to impose her beliefs onto others, but she definitely is encouraging it. Like I don't think she's like saying go be a part of a cult, but by posting things like a man that was paralyzed started to walk after this retreat, there are going to be people that are so desperate with the situation that they are in that they are going to spend thousands of dollars on just meditating for 7 days. And her comment section is respectfully critical. I'm actually going to go through it. I think the comments are very respectful. Like I'm just going to say that much. Like I think people are just very concerned for her. So this was actually a comment that was very positive and was pinned by Michelle Phan. This was the only one that was like pinned by her. Obviously she can only pin one comment, but this was the one that she chose to pin, which is, I've watched this whole video and have not felt in any way Michelle was alluding to a cult or in one. She said she attended a retreat, not that she joined. Michelle just seemed open-minded and took what she wanted from it. She already established that she does not want to push her views on others. She's just sharing her experience, which she is allowed to do. So far, Michelle has stated that she is into Western and Eastern ideologies. Of course, that is going to change her personality. She is staying authentic to herself. From my understanding, that is what she meant when she said she is new. There are Wiccans, Buddhists, or those who do tarot. They are all valid. Not all of them are bad. Even Christianity has done terrible things. She didn't even mention that she was part of any religion or under any leader. Don't really get all these comments. All of the modalities that she has spoken about are well known and used in many communities. I could not foresee her doing any harm to others or engaging in practices that do harm towards others. She is spiritual and has always been. Anyway, even after all of that, you don't like the conversion, you have the right to dismiss it. Remember, you're responsible for your own choices, just as Michelle is. She has support around her and she trusts them to keep her grounded. I personally trust that as well, because I've yet to see Michelle stray to the dark side of anything. Now, people had opinions in the comments. At 1830, she says, but if I was in a cult, it's a cult of love. Sis, that's what all cults came to be. I hope everything pans out for the better. And people responded, said, she also says, we're not, before quickly correcting to, I'm not. It's very scary to see. She said, we're not in a cult. And then she corrects it to like, I'm not in a cult. Like she's already talking about it as if she's part of it. Someone said, it's scary that the leader most likely set up her healing off the guy in the wheelchair just so she could use her platform to spread the word. That isn't love. That is a calculated con man using a vulnerable person. Someone says, please refer to the scientists who are researching the effects of this meditation. UC San Diego, actual independent scientists, PhDs in immunology, neuroscience, and more. Your assumptions to call this work a cult comes from your fear of charlatans and care for Michelle, but not from actual knowledge or research into it. Be well. So some people are saying like, this is, hello? Some people are saying this is completely valid, like she has the right to promote this. You know, some people are agreeing with it, some people are not. Like, just depends what side of the coin you're on. I'm just presenting you the information. Someone said, no one is saying that meditation can't have wonderful benefits for a person's mental health. It's the means by which she's going about learning it. She spent thousands of dollars on a retreat where she was love bombed, sleep deprived, and healed a man in a wheelchair with her own hands. These are the behaviors that are concerning, not the meditation. I completely agree. Someone said, I've been a fan of yours for a decade. I praised your business savviness in school when others would dismiss you. I pre-ordered your book to get the exclusive cover you illustrated yourself. I bought Vogue magazines just because your face was in them and kept them safe and secure to preserve them. I went to school for business because I could see the path that you made for young girls. I watched and rewatched your emotional Draw My Life video. I bought and hunted down the limited edition Ipsy bags you designed. I even thought you were amazing and revolutionary when you chose to step away from YouTube at the top of your game. Please know that I have always loved the content and message you have put out. I won't pretend to know everything about you. I don't seek parasocial relationships. I don't care if you found a new lifestyle that brings you comfort, and I'm sorry you're going through something that made you feel unhappy and insufficient. But I was incredibly disappointed when you said you healed a man who couldn't walk. Before you dismiss me as a hater, please reread my comment. I don't have anything to gain telling someone I admire seeing this comment and then probably blocking me forever. But I do believe there are those around you that have something to lose if you were to stop giving them your money and time. Those who want to covet you will tell you you do nothing wrong. I kind of made the choice myself to stop buying from M Cosmetics. I literally put an order down like maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago. And like, I loved the makeup, don't get me wrong. But I just can't give money to her to then have her give money to MLMs and cults and feel good about that. Like, that's just not where I want my money to go. Look, it's completely her personal decision if she wants to be in a cult, right? It is not her personal decision to then promote that on her social media platforms. And it's also then my personal decision to not want to provide her the money to be in a cult, right? Does that make sense? Like, by giving money to her, I'm giving money to MLMs and cults, and that is just not where I'm at. And obviously I don't know what brand, Sigma spends money on, right? Like, I don't know. But because they haven't told me, I don't know, and I can't make a decision on it. because she has now told me, I am now making an informed decision to not give more money to her, and that is my decision. I'm not cancelling her. I'm not saying boycott M Cosmetics and unsubscribe from her. That is just not where I'm at with this video. Like I'm purely just saying, like, for me, I do not want to provide money to cults that prey on people going through hard times, whether that be physical hard times like the man who was paralyzed, or mental bad times like what Michelle Phan has been going through. Like she said, she's been going through like mentally just a really bad time. I just don't really want to contribute, you know? So that is where I like pull out of using M Cosmetics. Like I'm still going to use the stuff I have. It's not like Jeffree Star where I'm like, oh, completely like cancel it, gives me the ick. But like I'm just not willing to buy more from her right now. So another comment said, I really respect that she isn't restricting comments and allowing for a variety of opinions. I hope she gets help. I agree. Like I like that she hasn't been deleting comments, which is like the usual reaction, right? Someone said sleep deprivation is the #1 tell of a cult to take care, Michelle. That's something that she said in the video, that like I said, they weren't allowed to go away from the meditation. So like they would start meditating in the morning and they would meditate for many hours, you know, 5+ hours. And in that time, they weren't allowed to sleep, to use the toilet, to eat. That's a way of controlling someone. Like you're on this retreat with people you don't know, who are now telling you can't sleep, you can't eat. You eat when we tell you, you sleep when we tell you. That is a way of controlling someone's mind. That is a mind controlling technique. And like, she has been mind controlled. Like, I'm just not willing to give my money to that, right? So someone said, this video breaks my heart. She's in pain, she's vulnerable like all of us, and she can't see how she's fallen victim to this vulnerability. We should be careful of being angry with her for this, even if it is, to be frank, delusional. She needs help and she will not get it until she's willing to see how far down the rabbit hole she's gone. Yes, meditation, breathing, those things can be calming and help with anxiety, but there's a difference between that and pseudoscience, and I really hope she comes back down to earth. So many people, including myself, care, and we were/are inspired by her, but this is a cry for help. Agree. I think this is a sign of like when fame goes too far. Like she has been famous for so long, and that's why I wanted to set out the scene for you guys. She has been famous and successful for so long. She's been the icon, the legend, and the moment, and I think right now she has lost herself. She doesn't know who she is other than a businesswoman and a YouTuber, and I feel like there's probably some things in her personal life that she's going through that she just needs help for, and I feel like LA has just destroyed her like it does to many young celebrities, and right now she just needs help, and that is not what she's going to get at this cult. Her Instagram stories were more detailed than this video. Legit, she said that her days there were 4 hours of sleep, 5 hours of meditation, no bathroom breaks, food, and meditations again. Like, if you have listened to cult experiences or even listened to Stephanie Sue's podcast about cults, one of the most famous cult tactics is sleep deprivation. Let people be delusional. Michelle Phan saying she came from a high spiritual self is a testimony that she was it. Also, when she said that she felt so loved going there, it's another tactic called love bombing. Making the followers feel very loved so they want to believe you and come back. Honestly, I hope she does more research on this Joe guy, because he is not a researcher. His ways are very much like other cult leaders. He's gaining money from his followers. Also, please, if you're young, don't believe in this. Meditation is fine, and there is a lot on YouTube how to meditate, but don't believe in what she is saying, because most frankly, this sounds like a recruitment video. Plus, the only thing in the video bio is a weird link that asks for your information. It sounds very recruiting to me, to be honest. Before anyone comes for me, I used to be the biggest Michelle Phan fan, since I think 2010 perhaps. I have M Cosmetics and all of that. So no, I'm not a hater, but it saddens me to see such a powerful businesswoman who I used to look up to become a victim. P.S. I never comment on videos, but I thought it was important for viewers to know how manipulative this video is. I think people are just so concerned for her, and it's sad to see, because this isn't like a typical video where someone's like apologizing and people going at them and like canceling them. I think this is just a video where people are just so concerned, like so concerned for her well-being, and clearly she's going through something to put her like in this situation, right? Like she's going through something, and I just wish she had reached out to maybe a therapist or someone that could actually help her, rather than this person who's clearly just wants money from her. Someone said, I don't think she realizes cults can be peaceful. It's not a loony, religious, drug-induced groups. A lot of them disguise themselves as meditation, edit, therapeutic for a better term, or spiritual communities that target vulnerable people. I don't think there's anything wrong with using meditation to find emotional and inner peace, and I do believe it can even have physical benefits. And if you're only doing this meditation for yourself, that's fine, but promoting any ideas of meditation, healing, medical disabilities, or diseases is harmful. Trying to get your fan base involved into this unfounded cult is harmful. I truly hope you find inner peace, Michelle. I'm happy you found a way to explore your issues. I just hope you find healthier, less exploitative ways. As you can see, people are very respectfully critical is why I said, like, people are not hating on her, people are not calling her names, not dragging her. People are literally just so disappointed in the fact that she would promote this to her audience who clearly trust her. Like, her audience have trusted her for years. She has now shilled Bitcoin, NFTs, MLMs, essential oils for COVID, and now a cult. I'm just gonna finish my makeup and we can finish the video. This is how tiny my lip liner is. It's actually from my project pan. It's the Kylie Forever and Always. It's the tiniest thing I've ever seen. I'm almost finished with it. This is my last Forever and Always, and I don't know if she has re-released them with a new makeup line, but this is one of my favorite lip liners of all time. There was like a piece of fluff on my face. Oh, there it is. Phoebe's hair has just been floating around everywhere. It's literally all over my face. And it's so ticklish. See how perfect this shade is? It's just so nice. I just think it's so perfect, mainly when you like blend it out. It just creates a perfect base for any lip color. I'm actually going to, Kaleidos sent me all of their lip clays. So I was able to see which ones I have doubles of and then keep the other ones. And then I put the ones I have doubles of into my PR pile. So there are a lot of like these nude shades that I already had that I put into the pile. And these lip clays are one of my favorite lip formulas. They're so good. They're like a liquid lipstick, but so comfortable, like so amazing. And they don't look drying at all. They have this like layer of like silicone almost on top. They feel very, very like silicone-y in like a good way. This is the shade Adobe, which is one of my favorite shades. This is what they look like. They just don't look dry at all and they don't feel dry. You can literally just tap them and like they won't move. They're so good. I love a glossy look recently, and I actually went to an event with a friend as a +1, and it was a NARS event, which I know they're not cruelty free, and I didn't buy these, but they gave me a bunch of their lip glosses and they're very good. So if you guys are not cruelty free, use these lip glosses. If you are cruelty free, don't. This is called Chelsea Girls. I just grabbed a random one. I have like all of them. They're so good. Such a good formula. So this is where we're at. This is Michelle Phan. She has started out so great and she had this business and she had all of, you know, that. And it's just sad to see the ways. Like I said, I will not be buying any more from Michelle Phan until kind of I see her not giving money to areas that I wouldn't give money to personally, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to give money to cults personally, so I wouldn't do it indirectly through Michelle Phan either, which is a shame because I love her makeup and I just wish her the best. This isn't a cancellation video. This is more of a, like, Michelle Phan, I hope you find your ways again, because I just want to see you be happy. Subscribe to that bell, like, comment for engagement. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.